Hi, everyone. Welcome to Law and Video. Today as my guest, I have Rajan of VideoSocials. Hi, Vic. How are you today?
I'm well, Sean. How are you doing?
Great. I'm doing really well, thanks. Why don't you just start by telling us a bit about yourself?
I am the co-founder of VideoSocials. We are a platform for attorneys, related legal professionals, including accountants and coaches and consultants. And as members, we very often get our clients through word of mouth referrals. And so we need to stay top of mind with all of our referral relationships, from other lawyers who could bring us business to our past clients, current clients, networking colleagues. One of the simplest ways to do that is to post content on LinkedIn and our website and other social media. And nowadays, with all these social media platforms prioritizing video, our community is a fun and supportive and encouraging way, especially for those of us who really don't want to be on video, but we know we should be on video.
Yeah.
So very often our members are practicing, but many of our members are really great presenters, so they get the hang of it really quickly. And they have podcasts and courses and things of that nature, in addition to being attorneys and accountants. And then they use our automation app to get their video branded with their logo and their contact info. The attorney advertising disclaimers get added. And it's push button posting to all the social media platforms, in addition to their WordPress website. And ultimately, we're a sharing community. So our members love to like and share each other's videos, multiplying the referrals and results of each of our video blogs.
Yeah. And I've been to a few meetings, and I think it's, I think it's brilliant. I think it's great. Because the meetings that I've been to have been exclusively with lawyers, which was very cool that I could, customize the meeting that I went to. It was nice. It was nice to be in a group of peers and be like, oh, everybody here is a lawyer and everybody gets it. And we were, kind of in a similar place as far as what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. So you've got that side. And then of course, you've got video right in the name, as I do, it's all about video. Video isn't new. It killed the radio star in the 80s, but it's making a big comeback. Watch out, here comes video, everybody, because nobody's got time to read anything or,
Well, I think there's been this steady groundswell. In 2006, that's when Google paid $1 billion for YouTube, which was making no money back then. And people were like scratching their heads, like, why would you do that? Mm-hmm. And so I think ever since 2006, I believe like that's like the beginning of where video became mainstream on the internet, because Google knew it was worth $1 billion even when they were making no money. So, okay. And then you fast forward, it took 11 years for Facebook to prioritize video. But when Facebook prioritized video, that was like the birth of social media video, again, being mainstream, because they knew it was bubbling. And they said, look, we're going to go mobile first and we're going to be video first, or video centric. And now we see it, obviously we're here, getting out of COVID, beyond COVID. And so from that aspect, we've been having to do video conferences and Zooms and things like that for the past year and a half. And so we're sort of used to being somewhat on video. So that groundswell has definitely become a tidal wave with the COVID time. I don't see it going away. I mean, people love watching video. It's the reason why these social media platforms prioritize videos. LinkedIn followed the following year. It wasn't by accident. It wasn't like they love video any more than any other medium. It was just people stuck around longer. And they're like, hey, look, if people are sticking around longer, let's make them stick around even longer. And of course, from an advertising standpoint, that's what they care about, right? Because they make their money on advertising. So if people are sticking around, well, they can essentially charge for those eyeballs. And so if you can't beat them, join them, and let's chat about how to use video.
Absolutely. And, even, anybody like you or me, or, so many of the people that are watching this who understand that there's a big difference between having a great product and having a great offering and then getting it to the people that you want to get it to. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, okay, then how many words is a video worth?
Mathematically, 30 frames per second. So that's, 30,000 per second. So you can do the math from there, Sean. But absolutely, spot on. I mean, what is better than video? It's being in person. I mean, that is true. But video is a proxy of being in person, and you get the advantage of at least virtually cloning yourself to be in multiple places at once, where we can't literally do that right now. But figuratively, we can with video, because people can share you. And so once you have it, it takes a little bit of practice, but once you've got it, now you've got a product, a package of yourself, maybe literally in terms of selling it, but I mean, even figuratively, you've got essentially a way for people to know, like, and trust you. And then you got that advantage of video, where even if you don't even use the video, you can transcribe it and turn it into, at the very least, a read-along written version, or edit that into a finished article that's, peer review worthy. So, and it's a lot faster to just start talking, and you can have the liberty of not being in full grammar. You don't have to be in full grammatical sentences, versus when you're writing, to put it out there, even on your website, it has to be well written, let alone a journal. So from that aspect, you can get away, and you have the body language, you have the intonation, you have all these aspects that beat the written word, even beyond audio and podcasts. Video can go beyond that. So there are a lot of those advantages, let alone the fact that social media prioritizes video and people enjoy watching video, generally speaking. Video tends to do better, let alone that it's prioritized now. And so it becomes a proxy of being in person and really getting to know someone. And there's that concept in marketing of know, like, and trust, kind of as a phased approach of how people do business. We do business with people that we know, like, and trust. And we want to have clients who we know, like, and trust. And so it's a two-way street in terms of enabling us to use videos well.
Yeah, and there's a lot in there. And, one of the things that I've always felt would be a wonderful thing if we could kind of get to this as like a bare minimum kind of level is you should have like a profile, and you should have like a headshot.
Right.
But, like, best practice in the future, it would be, go and do a video. Just tell the world who you are right then, right now, do it on video. If I'm a potential client going on, to a lawyer's website, or if I'm just, finding them on social media or something, as you say, know, like, and trust, you can't, if you can't be there in person, you're not going to get you're not going to get a better experience than using video to achieve know, like, and trust, because you're going to be seeing them right there, and you're going to get to see the way they talk and go, yeah, this person's for me, or you know what, maybe I want to keep looking, or whatever. But at least it establishes that, that potential that you can potentially get to know them, or like them, or trust them, and all of that good stuff.
And to go back to your use of cliches, there's another phrase that is often bandied about, that nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And so that feeling of passion, that you are excited of your profession, you're knowledgeable, but you care about what you do professionally, and you care about the client, can come through a lot more naturally, because it's easier to be emotional in a productive, good way, to show your enthusiasm, but still maintain the air of professionalism using video, because it is just naturally more conversational and more colloquial, as opposed to in the written word. Especially as an attorney, you must know that that you have to err on the side of excellence and proper decorum, and so you lose your personality in that process. And if you put too much personality, it can feel disjointed, or maybe even unbecoming of an attorney. But when you're on video, well, you're just yourself, and you may not click with everyone, but that's okay. You wouldn't click with them when you meet with them. So it becomes a natural filter from that aspect. So I think you're spot on in terms of kind of knowing, going back to your earlier point of kind of what are the basics that a professional or an attorney specifically would need, and kind of bringing them up to snuff. It's something to think of, because coming soon, literally being rolled out right now, is LinkedIn's cover video. That's what they're calling it. I dub it as your profile video, meaning it's not out yet. I don't know anyone who has a feature yet. And we're LinkedIn marketing partners at VideoSocials. So I'd like to think that I'll get it before others. We'll see. You'll be able to go to someone's profile, and around their circle image, right on their header, will be an orange circle. And when there's an orange circle, the indicator means if you mouse over that person's face, it'll magically, so to speak, turn into a video. And it basically will be your welcome video, welcoming someone to your profile. And you can think of it as an elevator pitch, or if you're looking for a job, it's your interview pitch, so to speak. And it's essentially what you're talking about. It's your profile video, that it's a welcome video that you would have, literally around a minute long. So it's not meant to be a video blog of real substance, but it is very much that intro bio video. So it will soon become very standard. Now, the feature hasn't rolled out yet, But that will be the big thing that people will get essentially invited to do. And so as that happens by the end of 2021, I could assume by the end of 2022, a profile video will be a very normal thing, to your point, Sean, of one of those basics that, of course, you have a business card, of course, you have a website, and now, of course, you have a LinkedIn profile. At this point, it's pretty mainstream. And it'll then be, of course, you have a profile video.
That feature of LinkedIn, I had not heard about that. So thank you for letting me know about that. I'm sure people will be interested to know about that, but it's almost not surprising, right? It seems like a really logical next step.
Yeah, for me, I think it's kind of, a long time coming. The profile video is kind of one of those standards that I believe will become a standard, by the end of next year. It may not always be so much shared as, let's say, a video blog that's much more substantive, informative, has some aha, frequently asked question and answer. But those are the things that people will remember and then share with others. Just your elevator pitch type video may not get shared as much, but it's useful to have when someone does want to literally recommend and refer you to someone else, which is kind of that reactive referral where someone says, oh man, I don't know what I'm going to do. My father's in the hospital and he never got around to writing his will, and time's ticking, like, let alone me. And, if they're complaining like that, it's like, hey, you want to talk to my friend. He's a trust and estates attorney. Or I want to talk to my colleague. That's what he does, is helps with wills. And so that reactive referral obviously is very powerful. It's very potent. It's like, yeah, happy to introduce you. Yeah, here's a link to his video and you can get to know him. And here's a link to his website. It's an easy way for people, like you said, Sean, to kind of get to know people and get to know others. But very often it's the video blogs that become more of the proactive referral, where someone's sharing you or even planting the seed reactively, where they're not necessarily knowing that you have an issue or a need, but it's like, hey, Sean's making a great point. Let me just click share and essentially broadcast you to my circle. Who knows who in my circle of connections need what you do professionally, need what your area of law is, but it might actually land on fertile soil, so to speak, and the seed blossoms. If you think about your own law practice, who refers you clients? How many people really is that's made you a successful practice? It's like a dozen, maybe 24 people. Like, that's it. And it's really enabling those, let's say, 20 people by name. You could literally write it down. Maybe you have it in your practice management software or CRM. You can literally write out their names. And it's really, those are the people that you want sharing your video. Yes. It's the people that brought you one client that have the potential of bringing you 2 clients. And now you have mathematically doubled your referrals. And that is possible. So the hyperbole of doubling your referrals and tripling your referrals, well, it's literally just that one person who referred you one client now referring you 2 clients. And that is very much entirely possible. And it's an 80-20 rule. So maybe not everyone will do that. But if every one of your clients can bring you one more client, depending on your practice, et cetera, well, you've essentially doubled. And again, it may not literally be every client, but some clients are going to bring you 2 clients and some clients won't bring you any. And so it'll even out. And so that's really where we want to focus in terms of getting your video shared by others. Well, who are those VIP referral relationships that you can literally ask to share your video, because they would do it anyway, except you never asked, or they're not that active on LinkedIn, but they're connected to hundreds of people, but they're just not that active. But when they log in, sure, they're happy to click share. It's literally something we do at VideoSocials, where we host our sharing socials for that reason, where our members get to know, like, and trust each other based on the relationship and based on relevancy. They actively share each other's videos. And let's say there are 15 people on that Zoom call where everyone's talking about each other's LinkedIn post. You may not get 15 people sharing you, but a half a dozen people will, because they already know you. And then the balance will now set up a time to get to know you. So the next time they'll share you, and it becomes a really cool community. But really, anyone has that power if they're a little bit organized and have that referral circle where they're literally asking. That's kind of the beginning. And there are a couple of other ways to get shared, but that's the beginning. It's not all about the number of views or the number of subscribers, or it's not about the quantity. It's the quality of the relationships and the sharing.
It's true, and it, you know, even, oh, so much to say, you know, and even the, you know, the quality of the recording and the audio. I remember you and I chatted once, and I suggested, I said, like, do you think there's a way that, you know, it'd be possible to kind of bring up everybody's, you know, production quality? And you were kind of like, it's not, you know, it's not a big deal. And I've definitely come around to thinking, yeah, I totally agree with you, because what's more important is, you know, what we're saying and what we're talking about and what we're doing, and, you know, who we're going to share this with and who's going to see it, and all the rest of that. And, you know, what you're, you know, what you're working on, what I'm working on, that's what's important. Final question. And what is your favorite depiction of law in video? And, you know, just wide open, you know, movies, TV shows, you know, what's something that jumps out at you?
You can't handle the truth.
I can handle it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Well, you can handle it. So A Few Good Men, I would say, right? Jack Nicholson is on the witness stand, and
it's a pretty intense scene, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that's the well portrayed. I don't know if it's accurate by any means. I have no idea how military court works by any means, let alone real court or traditional civilian court. But yeah, so yeah, that would be a fun example of how. Yeah, I always. I'm not a practicing attorney. I'm not a litigator, of course, by that definition. But I always like knowing that law and order is not actually how courtrooms operate, but it's fun for the rest of us. Yeah, it's. I think it feels real.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, well, thank you very much, Vic. I hope you're going to have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.
You too. Thanks, Sean.